These beats are banging.
If you're smoking like me, you should feel the melody. Zigzags with my wave, flashing lights in my face, feel like I'm in a high speed. But I still remain same OB, whatever that it be. Chin to the sky, a lot of people ain't with me, but I never wonder why I'm too busy on the mic, pouring out my soul like Mac Dre and Fabby. This is how the game goes. No time for regrets, I'm going hard for my fans, never give them nothing less. Boy, you tryna test, tell them say it with your chest. Respect your boy, girl, you probably rockin' with the best. Up all night, headphones in my eye touch. I'm in love with the game, I can't get enough. Up all night, headphones in my eye touch. I'm in love with the game enough. No one, can't nobody stop me now. No one, can't nobody stop me now. No one, can't nobody stop me now. No one, can't nobody stop me. This shit is so hard, you can't stop my goal. You can't pause my plays, you can't mock my flow. Rock the show, break a leg, like to here go. No need to beg. Hip hop, I'm in this, down for life. Lock me up, read me my rights. You have the right to write or go green. Keep it to yourself, or live the dream. Spit dream, or rap clean. No more quiet time, forever on the scene. Hardcore or scene, or somewhere in between. Conscious rap, or triple beam. Click up, or go solo. Underground and mainstream, depends on your promo. Mixtapes, LPs, from dive bars to arenas and shoot they wanna see. No one, can't nobody stop me now. No one, can't nobody stop me now. No one, can't nobody stop me now. No one, can't nobody stop me.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My bad, y'all. My bad, technical difficulties. Fucking mute button, you know what I'm saying? Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Cinco de Mayo. How you guys doing out there? What you guys smoking on, man? Damn these technologies, man. Shit, so like I was saying when I was muted, right? So if you're watching on YouTube, you might want to stop, go hop over to Twitch and come join us over here, because we got a giveaway that we're trying to work our way up to, and I already see the chat over here is dropping bowls left and right. Man, once we get those up to 420, y'all, you know what time it is. Giveaway time. But how y'all doing this morning, man? You guys ready to get into it? Y'all ready to see who we got as a guest today on the show? I don't think you're gonna be able to guess it. But before I bring them on, let me roll this disclaimer over here. Cover both our asses, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how it goes. But give me like 30 seconds, I'm gonna bring y'all in, alright? The stories told on this show are in no way, shape, or form any kind of admission of guilt. All the stories told here are just that. Stories. This show does not promote violence, drug use, illegal activity, or any kind of stupidity. This show and any guest speakers that will be on here will not be held responsible for any misguided action.
I'm done with the baggie.
Ooh, who we got here, y'all? Who we got here?
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's right. We got Todd Various in the house.
Can I be heard? Can anyone hear me?
Oh yeah, oh they can hear you. They can hear you. For those of you that don't know Todd, Todd is a very talented street performer, and he's a man of many talents. Let's say that. For those of you that don't know Todd, why don't you give yourself a little intro there?
All right, my name is Todd. My name is Todd Various. I'm 47 years old, and I live in the capital of Scotland, Edinburgh. I'm a professional street performer and circus entertainer. I do awesome stuff for money. That's me.
There we go.
That's me.
And Todd's got a YouTube channel out there.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that bit because I just don't get, you know what I mean? I don't get into it, but I want it to be there for other people, because you and your family have been going through my YouTubes and enjoying it. So yes, I'm sorry about that. Thanks for reminding me. If you put my name, Todd Various, spelled on all the stuff I'm wearing, you'll get all my stuff. You'll get my Instagram. I don't do Facebook, not for any reason. I just don't do it. Instagram, my WhatsApp, my TikTok, my YouTube, and my Twitch. So there you are. Those are, just put my name in a Google search. You'll get everything.
Hell yeah. And look here.
Thanks for having me.
For those
Thanks for having me. I didn't even
in the chat.
say thank you.
Let me give Todd a shout out real quick.
Oh yeah, do the shout out.
And for those of you watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see it here on the chat that pops up. Go ahead and punch his YouTube and Twitch in and all that, and check him out.
Don't punch it too hard.
Yeah, don't punch it too hard.
Leave a one mark. Use more punches. Like when you use the butt button. Jesus, Todd. You're gonna start off with that? Wow. Wow. All right, you're the leader. I'll answer. Yeah, go for it.
So Todd's a street performer, and
I am.
He's. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you were born here in the States, right?
I was. All right, let's do that. Okay. I was born in 1975. That tells you how old I am. I'm 47 to be 48 this year. I was born in Buffalo, New York, and then moved down to Houston, Texas when I was 2, and then moved back to Buffalo when I was 4 to have an open heart surgery. And after that, we moved when I was 5 to Detroit, and I grew up my life until I was 20 something or other and started making my way in the world. There you go. There's my where I'm from backstory.
And for those of you guys that don't know, Todd is he's not just a local performer where he's at. He's a traveler. Man travels. He gets around.
Ooh. Put world in front of that, and I'll tell you why. Because it's an actually interesting thing for you to know. Traveler is a term almost on the derogatory side for those nomads that don't really have an identity via the UK legislation, right? They just don't exist. There's gypsies. You can say the word gypsies, and then that's okay to say. The gypsies are just nomad travelers that go everywhere. So if you say traveler, wait a minute, I stay in my camper van. You might be right. You might be right. Never mind. I'll take that with pride. Never mind. Wow, I talked myself right into that word. You got me on that one. Fair enough. Hey, do you like my pipe?
Yeah.
I got that just today, just for this interview, just for this exclusive video. I like pipes. I don't do bongs. I don't do joints. I don't do blunts. I don't know why, but I like pipes. I'm a pipe guy. So if there's anybody that has a weird pipe. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't you say you were going to sell me that silicone job?
That's right.
I don't forget. Yep, you're the only person that's actually gotten my proper address.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So don't forget. Don't forget.
It's massive.
Carry on. Ask me what you want to know, and I'll tell you stories.
So how did you?
I'm a bad lead-in guy.
So
I am.
this is, first off, this is a cannabis-friendly podcast. So, when was the age that you started smoking weed?
The pandemic.
Pandemic? Oh, no way. No way. So, recent smoker.
Yeah, I've been aware of cannabis. I was never a partaker of cannabis until I was in my, it's different than right now. In my late 20s, when I started street performing, it was very common amongst the street performers. And I was like, what are you guys smoking? We're smoking weed. All right. I was like, do you want some? Yeah, I do. I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, I know this is good for me. I know this won't hurt me. Like if they're over there doing, lines of cocaine or whatever, and that's a drug that I've never done, but you can get out of control real quick with that action.
Yeah.
Weed's going to be safe. I'm like, if somebody's offering me cocaine, I'll say no. But if somebody offers me a joint, I say, my motherfucker. And I'll pick, thank you. Puff, puff. There you go. Thank you. Politely. So dude's like, you want some weed? Yeah, carry on. And because of my ADHD, like I just never turn off, and it's very exhausting. This calmed me down, and I was like, oh wow, I can dig that. What is this? And he goes, it's weed. And I went, oh, okay. So when I first started listening to people say it's weed over here in Britain, I'm never really in the States, not really. It's weed. They never had names. They never had what terp it is or whatever it is, what strain. I was like, all right. So I never really got into it. But in the pandemic, when I was watching pigeons grow cannabis, a friend of mine gave me 2 plants. He said, I have too many of these in my house. Do you want them? And nobody was going anywhere. Like no one was even leaving their house. So I'm like, I'm lucky enough to live without another house attached to me. Because in Britain, everything's attached to everything. It's a very small place with a lot of people. Britain's the size of Florida. I don't know if you know that or not, but you can put the UK inside of Florida. It's 4 hours across, 12 hours long.
What?
Just like Florida. Yep. I know nobody really thinks that through, but that's true. But I'm not going to get into that. You're going to have to keep me on point too, because I'll lose track of what I was talking about.
Oh, you're good, brother.
Because I've lost track just now. Start talking about Florida. Oh, this strain. So I just never get into it, and I started growing these plants, and I started watching pigeons, and then I started watching them stream, if I can say the words, Emerald Hills, and I got into that too. But it was
hold on,
pigeons.
Wait, let's take a pause real quick. So Emerald Hills,
sure.
for those of you guys that don't know, is a Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay server, right? That Pigeons and Rob, Pigeons 420 and Rob from Cannabis Lifestyle TV have created and brought to life. And I'll tell you, if you're into Grand Theft Auto roleplay, definitely go and check it out. It's called Emerald Hills. Go check it out. I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link down below for any of you guys who are on YouTube wanting to know. But yeah, go ahead.
I always add the extra syllable to emerald to make sure I'm saying it correctly, so I say emerald. It's kind of like Emerald. Forrest Gump will say emerald.
Yeah.
And that's where my 4th characters come up, and I'm not going to get into the hills. So I'm watching pigeons, and then and this was when it was just his crotch. Like he didn't show his face or nothing. It was just him talking about weed and then showing his plants and what he does. So I watched him, and I got Chris's book. A little shout out to the he says just call me Chris, so I just keep forgetting. What does he call himself?
Mr. Grow It.
Thank you. Little blank there. Yeah, I started watching Mr. Grow It and Chris, and then Rob, and then all 3 of them came together, started doing From the Stash podcast, and it was right after my dinner that From the Stash would happen, right? But I wouldn't tell my wife that that's what I was watching. Not that I was keeping it from her, but at the end of the meal, I don't really have dessert. And my wife and my daughter like to eat dessert. So they're like, hey, what would you like for dessert, honey? I'm like, nothing, I'm going to use the toilet. And I'll sneak off into the toilet and watch From the Stash podcast. And one day my wife asked me, she goes, why do you use the toilet at the same time on Tuesdays and Thursdays? I go, because there's some really entertaining stuff on my phone, and I need a break from the 2 of you. And she's like, that was pretty honest. And I was like, well, there you go. she goes, so you're turning on the fan for no reason? I go, no, there was a reason. All right, so I was watching pigeons. and then I got into strains, and I got into terpenes because of ADHD. It's more of a hyper focus on something. So right now, cannabis is my hyper focus, and Emerald Hills is my hyper focus. And if something else shinier comes along, you guys will never see my ass again, because I'll be, chasing that little shiny squirrel. Yeah. So there you go. That's what got me into cannabis recently, and now I understand how good it is for you and what the benefits are. And I never really knew that until the pandemic came along, and content creators like yourself and all the others that we've already mentioned were giving someone like me something to watch, something to look at and think about while we sat around and did nothing. So for real, thank you, because you've given me a bit more than you're aware of. So thank you very much.
I appreciate you, bro. What's funny is I haven't been on YouTube or Twitch or anything like that for that long. And I lightweight discovered Rob and Pigeons and all them through the pandemic as well. I've been growing for longer than that, but me looking at YouTube, kind of like, I don't want the shit in my search history because, if some shit goes down, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I never turned to YouTube for tips or anything like that. But when the pandemic came around, you had all this free time, the world's shut down, nobody's doing anything. So I turned to YouTube naturally, and I fucking stumbled across Pigeons and everybody. And from the stash, I used to wake up, you can ask Miss B, I'd wake up at like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, run out in the garage. That would be my
to watch from the stash.
Just sit there and watch from the stash, yeah.
From the stash, yeah. And then they started exercising, and we didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah. They were getting in shape.
So much fun. They were, yeah. I kept up. I did it too. I did it with them because it was in the middle of the afternoon for me. They were doing it in the morning, but I'm 5 hours ahead, connected to Eastern Standard Time. That's why I leave this clock running so people know what time it is in my time zone. You know what I mean? They can do the math and all that. So Pigeons and Rob and all that would do it early. And I'd be, it'd be an hour or two before dinner. I'm sitting in there working out in the kitchen. And my wife's going, are these the same guys that you sneak off and listen to in the toilet? I go, yep, 1, 2. Yeah.
Yep. And then, from the stash turned into Emerald Hills, right?
It did. It really did. Yeah, it did.
I'd watch from the stash, and then, later that night, I'd be in Emerald Hills. Well, I wouldn't be in there, but I'd be in the chat, right? And it's funny, because after they made Emerald Hills, I go to play Grand Theft Auto 5, just a regular ass game, and I can't do it.
Sure.
I can't do it. I'm like, where's all the fun shit? Where's the casino? Where's this?
Oh, because it's not animated. All the other, all the add-ons aren't there. There's no interaction with people.
But I don't have time to hop into the city. I just don't. I got kids running around.
No, man.
Time is hard.
We need people. We need people that watch too. You're content creating and you're a broadcaster as well. So you just saying those words right now to people that may have stumbled onto your stream right now for no apparent reason, right? Just randomly happens. And you said Emerald Hills. Well, what is that? So what you're doing right now as a content creator, fan, and repeater is better than you being in the hills. You know what I mean? And just hanging out. So if you can do both, if you end up in the hills one of these days and you're broadcasting it, that's a double whammy, and you're a good person for it. Thank you for that.
Eventually
it's gonna take you. It'll take you. And just yesterday, I noticed what was on your desk. I've never noticed that before, but it had a drift handle and everything. I was like, oh yeah. As soon as he gets into Emerald Hills, he's gonna have to reschedule his life. I used to grow cannabis, and now I just grow moss on my ass as I sit in Emerald Hills driving around. It's just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
No, I got into it back before they even had Emerald Hills, and back when they were in whatever server that was. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, I was like,
but yeah, no, we don't say the name.
Voldemort.
Yeah,
the RP of Voldemort. Voldemort RP.
That's how long I've been watching them in the city. Is back when they were like way back then.
I used to watch them. As Boof and Pigeons, or Boof and McCracken.
And McCracken, yeah.
And it was somewhere else, and I loved it because it's my favorite game in history. I don't know if you know this or not, but where I do my straitjacket shows, at the end of, if I turned right and walked down the hill for exactly 7 minutes, I'm standing on the steps of Rockstar North.
What?
That's where they're located. That's where they're located. The game that we're talking about right now, that's the head. Look it up on the internet. Where is the headquarters of Rockstar North? It's in Edinburgh. It's down the street from where I work.
That's dope. I'll be going knocking on the door like, hey, can I get a picture or
Oh
something?
man, can you
What do you guys have in
imagine
development?
the amount of people that come down there, and believe it or not, no one's ever there. There's never like a bunch of teenagers going, can we get free shit? There's nothing. It's like this stone building. It says Rockstar North on it. It's got a bit of Red Dead above the window, but it's massive. It's a big building. It looks like an Apple store kind of thing, but it's not. And there's like 5 securities at the front door and a metal detector. So it kind of puts people off of going in and asking questions and taking pictures. But it's there. I mean, you see people doing selfies all the time though. Rockstar North.
I stay down the street from Facebook, the Facebook headquarters. And
down the street.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Did
pretty
you?
much, yeah, straight. If you hit the main street and you go straight down, pretty much right where it's at. Facebook, Google, all of them. Apple put up a new building and we built that. That was pretty cool. But
I spent Christmas next to you.
I know. You said you were out here in the Bay.
Next to you, because every day we went somewhere, we drove by Facebook.
Oh, no way. Oh, that close.
This is what I'm trying to say to you, is we rented this house, like the whole family. No, sorry, my brother-in-law has a house right there. You go up the way, right? And then there's like a bit of a residential connected to that industrial part. Yep. I was staying in his place, and that's when I was hiding from my in-laws in some room on Emerald Hills going, is there anybody in the city? Please get me away from reality.
That's funny.
That's true. And I was right down the street from you. What the hell?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, that was Christmas. I know what you were doing at Christmas.
So
that was Christmas, yeah.
I built... I helped build a Facebook community, right? They took over an industrial park, and they're building out a whole bunch of... Well, they were,
I saw it.
Before the pandemic. Well, come to find out, the security guards at the front there, that's no joke.
Yeah.
Like, the whole lobby of the place that we were building, all the walls were made out of Kevlar, and like they said, we get bomb threats and shootings or people that call in shootings, so... You know, security handles that right there at the front.
Is that a sign of success, or maybe?
I don't know. You know, they say you gotta love your haters, but
But
I think that
damn.
might be on a whole nother level there.
Yeah, that's a difference. Yeah, that's a step up. God damn. Yep. So there it was.
That's
all right. Stories. How do you get? Because I'll go on forever. I don't want you to run out of time.
So, since you're a street performer, right?
Woo.
What's been your favorite place to travel to do your show?
Where's my favorite place to do my show?
Yeah.
I have a favorite. Oh man, I have a favorite. I'm so pleased that you asked me that, because everybody wants to know it, and no one knows where it is, except for the people that go there, and they know why you said the answer. You ready?
Go for it.
Galway.
Galway.
Exactly. I love that fucking answer. It wasn't New York. It wasn't Boston. It wasn't San Francisco. It wasn't Australia or Britain. It's this little seaside town called Galway in Ireland. And it's just where all the artsy people go, where all the hippies go to make paintings in their house, and then during the daytime they come out to the streets and they sit down, and then the local farmers come in. Right, let's go down and see what the hippies are selling this week. And they'll go down, and it's like it's an entire economy. They have their own little inside economy. They don't buy shit from Amazon. The farmers will come down because that girl there buys my chickens. You know what I mean? Like I saw it right off the bat. I saw it. I was like, oh, this is cool. What city is this? Because at the time, and just to bang into it, Galway was a suggestion from another street performer when I was in Dublin, where I first started street performing. So I went to Galway, and I had everything I owned. Everything I had was in a backpack and a pull-along duffel bag. All of my worldly possessions was connected to me.
Oh, damn.
And that's how I started. That's how I started my street performing life. I just, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not going back to the States. I'm just going to walk around the world until it makes sense. And I really found this nice little homey moment in Galway. And I did very well there. I made a lot of money there. Made a lot of friends there. I still owe a bar tab in Tucolis. It's like 15 years old. And one of the kids that are named Ticoli, they're twins, John and John and John. But you know a John because his eyes are crossed. And the other John, so there's cross-eyed John and no cross-eyed John. Or normalized John. They call him normalized, like he's caramelized. Normalized John and cross-eyed John. And you can't mention his eyes to him because he gets really fucking angry. So you gotta eat, and he'll look at you and go, right, pick one and stare at it. That's what he'll say to you. He's so forward about it. It makes me laugh. And I still owe 20 euros to that bar staff. And one of the Johns showed up in my show like 2 years ago. And he says, are you ever going to come around and pay your bill? I said, yeah, one of these days, man. He says, just give me the money right now. And I was like, yeah, but then I won't have a reason to come to Galway. He goes, well, you know, there's always a reason to come to Galway. And it's a really nice place. So that's my answer. Galway, Ireland is my favorite place to street perform.
That's cool. That's funny. I'm the second generation of my dad's side of the family to be in America. Right? My grandparents, they were the first generation to come here. And they're from South Ireland. I got family out there that I've never met before.
Well, there's Northern Ireland and there's Ireland. Northern Ireland is still connected to British rule, and Ireland is part of Europe. So if that helps you in any way, carry on. It's not here to show off. I'm just saying that's how they say it over here.
Oh yeah,
carry on.
I don't know anything about it. Like I got family in New York that I haven't met. Right. And,
cool.
My sister, she had the chance when she was a kid. My parents asked her. They were like, "Hey, where do you want to go? You have a choice. You go on one big trip. You can go either to Disney World or you can go to New York to meet family." She chose New York. Me, I chose Disney for Disney World.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, because you know what goofballs you're gonna meet there.
Yeah. So
he's goofy. I saw that coming. I know. Go on.
So I got to make my way over to New York sometime and meet some family out there. But I've always wanted to go to Ireland. That's always been on my bucket list.
There's if you want to know what it's like, at least if you never make it, I'm going to tell you what it's like. There's a lot of movies out there that are filmed in Ireland. When you see something that's very green, near water, and rocky, it doesn't look like you can kind of climb it, but it's fun to look over. It's probably filmed in Ireland. The bottom left-hand side of Ireland. A lot of movies get filmed in Ireland. Anything that's had a night in it, Ireland. Because there isn't a lot of that in Britain. Britain's full of Peaky Blinders. That's what Britain is. That makes more sense. But all the knights and all the armor and all that, that's not really Ireland. Matter of fact, Mark Hamill that played, not to bring up a whole bunch of names, Mark Hamill that played the Jedi, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been Luke Skywalker. That was Ireland.
Oh.
That island?
No way.
That was Ireland. Yeah. That was, as I was told, and I believed it completely because I've been to those islands. And it's just really nice. I mean, if you want to go somewhere and really go, wow, this is real, then okay, go to Ireland. But I've just described it for you, and you get there from a hillside. My suggestion to you, if I could be so bold to make one, is don't have a destination. Have an amount of time. No, have an amount of time. What can you see in this amount of time? Because it doesn't put your family off, because I know you're a family man, right? You can say, look, I'm gone for 2 weeks, but I'll be back by this day. And maybe make a couple of places to sleep so you're not out on the streets. But when you show up, if you have a plan, you've already restricted yourself to something that you're not going to see. I know those are really weird words.
No, that's very
but,
true.
Like, I've come off of a train in Germany one time, and I went, hello, I don't speak German. Do you speak English? And they look at me and go, yes, it's not the war. And I just fucking died laughing. I just thought that was the funniest thing I've ever heard someone say to me. I was like, and she meant it. She's like, that was a joke for you because you're American. What do you want? I swear to God, this is a real conversation as soon as I walked up. And I said, I've never been to your city, and I want to have the food that the locals think tastes the best. And she took me to her house because she doesn't eat out. She says, my mother makes the best food in the entire village. I says, well, can I stay at your place tonight at your house? Sure, come on, let's go. And I went there. What? And you see that natural, I know, and see that natural fear that you have in your heart going, what the fuck? Yeah. Well, if I die, how groovy of a way was that to die? Like, I didn't die because I got hit by a bus. I died because I went for it. But if I didn't die, I've achieved that now. And now I'm not afraid to do it again. And man, did I do it again. I've been everywhere. Oh my God, I've been everywhere. There's a segue, by the way, right there. If you're going to ask me about the craziest story I've ever done.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just to go to point number 2. But if I was to give you advice to if you're going to go to Europe and see Ireland, start at Ireland. Because you can see Ireland in 2 or 3 days. Unless you're going to stay and soak up the culture. Go to Galway, go to Dublin, go to Northern Ireland, go to Cork, Cork, where the Corks can only understand the Corks and everybody else can't understand the Corks. And if you go to Northern Ireland, everything ends on a question. Northern Ireland ends on a question. Everything goes up. And if you look, if you go directly across the water from Belfast, where the DeLorean was built. I'll just throw that out there to give you into your... Yeah, I see. A lot of people don't know that. DeLorean was built in Belfast, Ireland. It was never built in America. Never once. I love that. I love that you didn't know that, because now that sows a little seed, maybe for something later on. And then I get to watch it. And when you're like, thanks, Todd, out of nowhere, no one's going to know except for me. And I'm digging that shit. I love that little inside stuff. So yeah, Northern Ireland. If you're up in Northern Ireland, all the accents go. But if you go across the water to Liverpool, where the Beatles are from, you'll hear the Northern Irish accent on weed. Because if you come from Northern Ireland and you get on the boat and you've been smoking this fucking tangerine dream for a little bit longer than you've needed to, you turn in to one of the Beatles, and by the time you've gone to Liverpool, the weed is taking over your accent, and you're gonna write some fucking amazing songs. And there you are, you're a Beatle. You went from Northern Ireland to Liverpool, and I'm the only person that can do that transition from Northern Ireland to Liverpool. Oh, I can't wait to be a stand-up comic. I've got so much material. It's going to be disgusting. That's my end game, by the way. I know that I can't... I brought this just for a laugh, by the way. This is what I get out of every day. That's my straitjacket. That's a real ass straitjacket, right? That's what I get out of every day. As a matter of fact, Nightcrawler from the cartoon movies wore this jacket. He was in Glasgow doing a photo shoot, and they said, do you know anybody that has a straitjacket? And he had a friend that knew me, and they fucking zoomed my ass an hour west to let him take 3 pictures in that straitjacket for a promotional thing. Yeah. So that's cool. That's always nice. All right, where were we? Because this THC is working like a motherfucker. It's a new strain that I should have taken a little bit easier, but I'm so comfortable with yourself. So, for everybody that has noticed and feels good about it, I'm staring off into nothing. I'm looking directly at a curtain, but I know in feng shui in this video, it feels good instead of me doing this. So I've done the whole interview, not looking at the chat. I'm so focused right now. Ask me a question so I can give you an amazing answer.
So, you have a favorite place to go, right? What's one of your least favorite places that you've been? Because you've traveled a lot. So,
I've traveled a lot of places.
When you said that you went to Germany and this woman invited you into her house, right, to have dinner, and then
she was actually quite young. She was quite young. She was 32, I think. And I was. She looked older. She was young. And I was kind of embarrassed about that. I told her she was 45.
oh.
I know, 52. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. She goes, not yet. I was like, oh fuck! If you've never been threatened. You've never been threatened until you've been threatened by an older German woman, because you just don't know if she's serious or not. Because their humor is so dry. It's double-edged every time. Like I have all right, here. I'm gonna do a joke. I'm sorry. But I'm repeating a joke. There was a guy named David McSavage, who was a street performer in Dublin, Ireland. When I first started, he saw my very first show, as a matter of fact, nearly 20 years ago. And he would stand on the corner in Temple Bar, Dublin, and with a guitar, just playing songs, making fun of people as they walk by. Here she comes, she's with a different man. Here she comes, she's with a different man. Just having a laugh at everybody that would walk by. And he was just a slag artist, and he was so funny. And he's one of the guys I very first saw, and I was like, you know what? I want to be like that. I want to do the art, playing guitar, ukulele, whatever I do, but be really funny when I do it. Because you can be impressed by a trick, but you'll remember and try to repeat a comedian. And I thought it'd be worth my time more to try to be funny than try to be impressive. But because of my hyper attention deficit disorder, my hyper focus on the skill set that I do kicks in, and then I'm good at what I do and funny while I do it. So I've been very successful at what I do. I'm going to answer your question by denying it. And I'll tell you why. I know it's even negative there. I don't have anything bad to say about any place I've ever been, because every place that I've been to that wasn't easy made me stronger than the people that were at the next event that I was sharing with that has never been challenged by those other venues that some of us have been through. And then we get to the cushy jobs where all the cushy performers are, and we're like, look, man, I've got an apple, an attitude, and a keychain. Back up. I'm doing an hour and a half. Because if you're really good at what you do, you can walk into the audience, take 3 items, and make that last an hour. And it'd be the most entertaining thing you've ever seen in your life, because it's a performance, not a trick.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. So I don't really have a bad place. I will say that if I was to tell you a place that I haven't been yet, that I wish I had when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I think my reputation has already made its way there, which is a good reputation, but it's already made its way there. So if I show up and do my show, it's like meeting your heroes, and that's me boasting myself. But I've watched 3 generations below me doing my material. And if it wasn't good, it wouldn't be repeated.
Yeah.
So I take it like a pat on the back and a thank you, sir. I've had some younger street performers come up to me and say, is your name Todd Various? And I say, yes. Like randomly, people will just come up to me. Are you Todd Various? I'll say, yes. And they'll take off their hat and they'll shake my hand and they'll say, thank you for all the stuff that you put in the street theater. And I'll look at them and I'll say one thing. You're welcome. And that really bugs them, because I don't sit there and go, I'm amazing, I'm blah, 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 blah. I just go, you're welcome. And that makes them more interested.
Yeah, it's humbling.
Because you give them nothing.
Yeah.
You give them absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And it's
all
like,
right.
Like people are like looking for something, right? When they're like, I don't know. I've met a few like famous people in my lifetime, and you know, every time I've met them, it's kind of like, you know, they're not.
I want to
The
tell
way they
that story.
portrayed was kind of like stuck up in the media kind of thing, right? But then you meet them in real life, and it's like, dude, they're the most humblest kind of people ever. Like,
Oh my god! Please let me tell you. All right, fine. Well, I have to. Now that I just laughed like that, I'm gonna make this as quick as I possibly can.
go for it.
I don't know what kind of title you want for this, but I'm gonna call this "My Claim to Fame" by crop dusting Vin Diesel.
Oh, what? Okay, now you gotta elaborate on this one. You said crop dusting Vin Diesel.
I said it. That's exactly what I said. I meant it. Oh god, I gotta stop smoking that because I'll be an idiot in a minute. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? All right. So I'm in a couple of films, one of which is Fast and Furious 9. Fast and Furious 9 was filmed in Edinburgh in September. I don't remember the year, but they were here to film in August. And during August, there's a street performer festival for the entire month called the Edinburgh Fringe. If you're ever looking for something to do while you're in Edinburgh and you want, you know, a jumping city, like you don't want the quiet Edinburgh, you want the party Edinburgh, it's August, the month of August. But show up in the first 2 weeks because that's when the party happens. The third week is like just people that don't speak English that have come from Europe, just getting that third week discount. And they come to check it out. They're groovy. There's just a lack of connection due to the communication. And that makes me be a better mind. So, right, the story, crop dusting Vin Diesel. So, Fast and Furious 9 was to be filmed in Edinburgh during the festival, so they get all that in the background. But then they figured out to buy the Royal Mile during the peak season of tourism would be unbelievably expensive. Having an apartment on the Royal Mile in the month of August, you can rent out your apartment for 5 times its mortgage, just for the month. 5 times its monthly mortgage. You can pay your mortgage for half a year for what people will get, you know, you and your friend and 2 other friends, right? You know, 3-bedroom flat right on the Royal Mile for, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 pounds, but divided up amongst 4, not so bad, right? So the place is packed. And they went, yeah, that's a disaster. We'll definitely get sued by somebody. We're not doing that. So I got casted as an extra. I work for an extra company, right? I don't actually have a professional acting career. I'm just an extra. I'm just a guy in the background that blends in, right? Me, blend, it's difficult. So, and on that note, my very first day as a background artist, I go to costuming at 5:30 in the morning, and the woman, I show her a bunch of T-shirts that I brought. You're not allowed to wear letters. You have to have a plain clothing, right? Or they will give you costume, but you want to wear your own clothes because you're going to be in them for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So I said, well, dang, I should have brought my straitjacket. And the woman immediately stands up and looks at me and firmly says, do you have a straitjacket? And I said, well, yeah, that's what I do. Like, to me, it's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I don't look at my straitjacket as weird at all. It's been a Jesus, man, it's been a giver for many, many years. So, and I go, yeah, of course. And here's the fun sentence. Ready? This is fun. Enjoy this. Because all of it's true. She goes, do you have it with you? I go, of course I don't have my straitjacket with me. You said bring T-shirts. I just said I should have brought my straitjacket. Yo, no, it gets worse. And she goes, she starts to be a smart ass. She goes, is it near you? And I go, well, yeah, actually, it's just down the street at the pub. She goes, wait, let me get this right. There's a straitjacket, not here, but down the street at a bar. She was American, right? I go, well, yeah, it's wet. It had to dry out. That's why it's on the hook. She goes, what hook? I go, where you hang your coats. She goes, hold on a second. You're telling me that down the street at a bar, there's a straitjacket drying off on a coat hook where people hang their normal jackets. I go, yes. She goes, I am never messing with a Scottish person again in my life. Can you go get it? I go, of course I can. Am I excused? She goes, yeah, just hurry back. So I run down, the bar's not open. It's 5:30 in the morning. Why the fuck would anybody be there? So I run back and say, I'm sorry, they're not open. She goes, great. Well, at lunch break, can you run down? It's sure. So it rained for 4 hours, which I laughed my ass off, because all of the staff kept staring at the clouds and all the locals kept staring at their phones, because that's what it does here. It rains. And all the American staff was like, geez, man, I wonder when the rain's gonna stop. And all the locals are sitting down in their phones and they're like, right, you fucking cunts, it never stops. You know what I mean? Like, we're all laughing at them. We're having a great laugh. And and the staff went, okay, well, let's have them have lunch. All right, where are we? So that's my Scottish. That's my Scottish. So I go down to the bar because I went to see what the staff was serving, all the extras, couscous and like a leaf with a sliced tomato on it. I was like, what is this? Yeah. That's your lunch. That's no my lunch. And I just left. I just walked. If you leave, you don't get paid. I go, all right, I haven't even been fed. I'm away. And so I left, right? I know it sounds weird, doesn't it? It's just a weird thing to say. So I go down but that's what I said. She didn't know what the hell, because I was speaking American before that. So you've never seen somebody switch it up. So I go to the bar, I grab my jacket, and John behind the bar says, hey, did you want anything to eat before you took off? Because I heard you're up with movies. I go, actually, yeah, I'll have a steak and potatoes and corn and a pint of Coke. And take my phone and take this photo. And I went back to the extras. I was like, oh, you have no idea what happened to me during lunch. You see that? That's what a real meal looks like. And they were like, dude, that's such a dick move. I go, no, you stayed. I came back. They threatened your job and I don't care. It's when you care, then you're restricted, but I don't have those restraints, which is probably why I do a straight jacket show. So get to the point, Todd, get to the point. So when I came back, we were all going out to the street. Everybody's getting pointed at. And this guy goes, you're the straight jacket guy, right? I go, great. Now I'm straight jacket guy. If I'm ever in the credits for any film, straight jacket guy. Fuck. I couldn't have been anything cooler. No. You know.
Something.
No. Straight jacket guy. Oh, God damn it. That's my Twitch channel. Straight jacket guy. I never know what that is. It could be anybody. It could be my mother. Straight jacket guy. I don't know. That's gonna be a clip for something else. Yep. That's funny. I'm gonna use that so much. All right, get to the point, Todd, because I'm telling you, man, I will rattle. You gotta rein me in, but keep me on point, and I'm yours for as long as you need me. So the crop dusting, here it comes. But I'm gonna give you two names, just a name drop to make it interesting, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Straight jacket guy, we need you to do this. All right, cool. I'm way in the back. You cannot see me on the camera. I don't exist. But they want me to make an effort to get out of the straight jacket by myself. I'm like, hey, man, if I don't have a crowd, I look like I'm insane. He goes, what do you mean? I go, I'm by myself in a straight jacket that one of your people has to put on me every time. Do you mind if I take 9 of your people to have a crowd? And he goes, actually, that's a good idea. Thank you. I've never done it. I go, I've done it my whole life. And he goes, that's why you're here. And then you do your job. I'll do mine. And I was like, fuck, that guy put me in my place. Now I'm straight jacket guy. So straight jacket guy goes and gathers up 9 people that are local that are having a laugh at it, aren't I? So I was like, right, you and you, you and you and you. We are. Come here. So I get all these Scottish people around me. I was like, look. Wow, good job, you clap, chat. They're like, I was supposed to be quiet. No. And like Scottish people were like silently rebelling against whatever. It didn't even matter what it was, as long as there's a fight. There's a fucking Scotsman there. So I'm telling you, just in the background, drinking his pint slowly, right? This is what a real Scotsman is. A real Scotsman is the guy that's not in the fight. A real Scotsman, the guy that is boiling in his skin, drinking his coffee, going, "They fucking killed that guy." Oh, and then they'll puff on their pipe. I'm telling you, sorry. All right. So the story. Sorry, B.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's a little bit over the top. Sorry, man. All right. So I really wish I could hear the music you were playing behind this. I wonder if you are. And I hope you are. So, crop dusting. So they moved me up because they fucked up with the camera shot. I can skip that story because that doesn't matter. But I tore my elbow and they stitched it. Now I have a straitjacket stitched from the movie Fast 9. So that's cool, right?
Yeah.
It's nice. You know, a genuine costume piece. Which is funny because it's in the back of the caravan under a bunch of crap. It's not looked after at all. It's back there and it stinks. All right, so but it is sewn up by Fast and Furious. So that day was a pain in the ass, right? And then I go and I sit down on a bench, and this little Asian dude sits next to me, right? And he's all in black, and he's got shit hanging from his belt, and but he's got my accent, but Californian accent. You know what I mean? He crispies on certain words that a Michigander wouldn't, and I will say that Michigander because that's where I'm from. Okay. We say right, and they say yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you want to go you want to go get beer? Yeah, right. And we'll you jump in the seat, right. You know, but in California, we're like, yeah, dude. Yeah. They'll jump in the car. That's it. So I'm with it. I understand it. It's culture, and I love culture. I love different flavors. So this Asian sits down next to me, and this is one of the 2 stories I promised to tell on your podcast, by the way. And he looks at me and goes, "Nice work out there, man." I was like, "Thanks, dude. I'm fucking tired." I looked at him. I go, "Are you crew?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm crew." Like this little pause and a little bit anger. It's like, "Yeah, I'm crew." I go, "Man, it was tough out there, huh?" He goes, "Yeah, actually it was, to be honest with you. It was tough out there." He goes, "What were you doing?" I said, "I'm the straitjacket guy." And I just started doing that, by the way, in your show. That's the first time I've ever done that. It's true, I made that up just for you. So, that'll be your GIF. So he goes, "Oh, that was you in the straitjacket. Damn, dude." I mean, like, you kind of went over the top a lot. I go, "Did I? I don't know. It's my first day." And he goes, "It's your first day?" I go, "Well, not getting out of the straitjacket." He goes, "It's not your first day getting out of a straitjacket?" Like, he took it as a threat. He's like, "Who am I sitting next to?" And I'm like, "No, I'm a street performer. It's my show. It's what I do." And he goes, Oh, you're a street performer." I go, yeah, you're in my spot. And you go, "Okay, fuck off as soon as you can, because I want to get back to work." That's what I said. He goes, "That's funny." I said, "Look, man, I got to be back here at 5 a.m. It's cool to meet you." Give him the knuckles. And I was like, "What's your name?" And he goes, "I'll see you tomorrow." I go, "All right, man, later." And I was like, maybe he didn't want to give his name, right? Here it comes. There's a reason. And I am to this day embarrassed by it. Uh-oh. Yeah. And I'm so fucking worried when I find out the truth. So, yeah, here it comes. So I come into work the next day, and the woman at costume goes, "Straitjacket guy." I go, "Still?" She goes, "You need to talk to that woman." And I'm like, "I didn't talk to her yesterday." She goes, "Things are a bit different now, aren't they?" And I go, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble." Uh-oh. There's never been a good situation when someone's mad at you and says to talk to someone else. That's passing the buck. I know what that looks like. I'm like, fuck, man. What did I do yesterday? My first day, and I fucked up. You know, I'm not an actor. I'm a street performer. I'm funny. So I am. I'm like, I can't help it. I am. That's how I'm built. So I go to this woman. She goes, "Good afternoon, Mr. I'm not going to get into my proper last name if you don't mind, but we'll say Various. Good afternoon, Mr. Various. You need to be digitized." And I went, "Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed that part. I thought all of the extras were digitized." Right? So I was like, "All right, fuck it." So she goes, "You need to be in your straitjacket." I go, "I'm going to need a little help." She goes, why? Oh, you probably can't do it yourself, can you? Because your arms. I go, it's a straight jacket. And she goes, oh, okay. How do you do it? I go, lady, they're buckles. Your boots have them. And she goes, oh, buckles. Oh, yeah, okay. This is kind of weird, actually. She kind of got into it. She's like, oh, wow, this is fun. She goes, we never get this. Oh. She was like really getting into it. And she goes, okay, I need you to turn. And she goes, look down. And there was a plus and then a plus askew, which made 8 points, right? 4 plus 4. She goes, I need you to face the direction of the tape and then turn when I say turn. I go, all right, turn, click, turn, click. So she made me turn 360 and she took my picture. I still didn't know what the hell was going on. So I'm really freaking out now. I'm like, people from America are digitizing me, and I stay the hell away from the States as much as I can just to stay out of the chaos. It's chaos, and I don't want any part of it. I mean, like, good luck. I am a cheerleader. I hope that happiness and love prevails, and that's a big cheer. That is a big cheer. I hope that happiness and love prevails, and that is it. That's where I'm at. So, but I told you the 2 things I won't get into. So, right? I just skimmed them. There it was. So, I can toe the line. I toe the line. That's my job. So here comes the crop dusting. I told you it was a long story. So the lady goes, well, the director really enjoyed the conversation you guys had yesterday. Oh, little Asian man.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck. That was whatever Lee. That was whatever Lee. Oh, God, it was the director. Oh, no. What did I say?
Damn.
Fuck, what did I say? He was the director, right?
Oh,
and he had just come over because he had spotted another American accent. And I know what it looks like all the time. It's another American that wants to talk to another American that lives in a different country, because we don't do that. Yeah. Most of us don't get out. Most of us don't leave. 10% of Americans have passports.
That's it? I don't have mine, I know that.
That's my point. They don't need to. I'm not going to get into it, but you don't need to leave. You have been satisfied on all angles of where you live. You have found happiness. People don't leave happiness, right? People that aren't happy, they leave. And now you know what percentage of America.
10% of America is happy.
Actually, no. Actually, no. If passports were easily accessible as driver's license and free, there would be a huge flight. There's so many people like yourself that want to go the rest of the world, but because of family, because of scheduling, it's just not a thing. But someday it will be, and I hope to see you. All right, crop dust him. Here we go. You're moved. I said, all right, where do I stand? Here come the 2 names I was going to drop. They said, you stand here. I'm like, holy shit. This is right next to the actor's car. 10 feet. And I can spit on the camera. Okay. Oh, shit. And they went, I cannot believe this is your 2nd day. You're the luckiest person I've ever met in my life. People do background acting for 10 years to stand where you are. So don't be surprised if you get your ass kicked on the way to your car. Scottish people. Right? You're going down and having it tight. So that's what they would say. And then you're just going to have your ass handed to you. So you just go limp and take it.
Shit.
that is a. I mean, I'm not saying Scotland's a dangerous place, but Glasgow is. So Glasgow's like the Detroit of Scotland. When I got there, I was like, wow, I'm home. Holy shit. It's true. It's true. A lot of the architects actually left Glasgow and went to New York, which eventually went to Detroit. So a lot of Detroit, a lot of New York looks like Glasgow, not the other way around. So there you go. Because one was somewhere before the rest of it was. But I'm not getting into that either. So crop dusting. He says, you're going to work here. Excellent. I said, listen, if I'm this close to the camera, if I have 8 people at the end of me getting out of the straitjacket, I look like a really bad street performer. And I'm sorry, I will not do the shoot. You can keep your $200 or whatever it was I was getting paid. That's not actually the number. I just threw that out there. You can keep it. They said, all right, man, relax. Okay, we'll make you look good. How many people do you want? I went 300. They said, that's all of our extras. I go, yeah, but you digitized me. How many other people have you digitized? He goes, you can have 10. I said, 100. He goes, 50. I said, I'll tell you what, 30 people and I pick them. And I promise you, it was the prettiest people in the entire cast. I just walked around and went, want to be in front of the camera? And anyone that you said that to is now your best friend. You are now, who are you? I don't care. I'm having drinks with you at the end of that. So like I walked around and I picked out all the people that were cool to me, all the people that were nice, most of the locals, some of the Americans that were interested in Scotland. So that's a reward for being interested in something other than where they live. And just gathered up a good group of people that were supportive of street theater. Like a lot of people said, oh, my brother's a guitar player, or my sister's a juggler. Cool. Come around, be my crowd. By the way, all of this is not in the film. I wanted to make sure I threw that out there right now. That way, if all your listeners go looking for it in the movie, you're not gonna find it.
I was about to be looking for it.
It's all on the cutting room floor. I am a blip in that film, and if you want to, I'll send you the clip. But I'm talking, you can sneeze for longer than I'm in that movie. So, but I was there, and here it comes. Right here it comes. I'm in a place called West Parliament Square. You can look that up on the internet. West Parliament Square, and a white car that's carrying Exhibit and Tyrese Gibbons, the 2 actors and entertainers. They drive in, they get out, and they do their line, yo, I just still, appreciate old-fashioned values, or whatever that I heard 47 times in one day. So, you know what I mean? Like, their lines by the end of the show. So they took a break. The car was there. I'm in the straitjacket. I'm just getting out of it. And Tyrese, who is like 6 foot everything, he's as tall as his head is big. And it's been called out, so come at me. So there's a... I got the rock on my side. So there's actually I do have a couple actors on my side. So there's all the entertainers are looking at me, and I'm getting out of my straitjacket. Tyrese comes up and goes, "Come on, man, we need to get this guy some money." He scared the absolute shit out of me because I didn't see him coming. So I went, "Oh my God!" He goes, "I'm sorry, man, I didn't mean to disturb you." And he went to put his hand on my back, and I went, "Oh no, I'm not supposed to mess with the actual actors." And I looked at the ground. I go, "I'm sorry, sir, but we're not really supposed to look you in the eyes." He goes, "Look, man, I've approached you." And I was like, that right there was permission to have a conversation. Because in Scotland, we don't want to be better than you. We just want to say hello.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're no better than me. You can't be. You know me. That's a Scottish way of thinking. It really, really is. Like, I'm not better than you, but you can never be me. Because you've never been through what I've been through. Because Scottish people, wow, man. We see the sun for maybe 30 days a year. It's rough. It's really rough. Yep. So, all right, the crop dusting, and I'll get to the tail end of it because I don't know what time it is. I don't want to go too long. Have we already gone too long?
Oh, you're good, bro. You're good.
All right, fair enough. I can do the other story quickly. So they put me where we were. It says, okay, that part is done. Now we're doing the big crowd scene. Vin Diesel's going to walk through. I'm like, oh, my guts are killing me because of what they had served us for lunch that day, and I didn't want to have steak 2 days in a row. So I ate whatever they served me, and now it's making my insides just destroy my happiness. I'm like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. So I know, because I'm a local, I know where people don't go. They don't go way off the back cut, where only the trash cans are, where it already stinks. So I'm like that's the place to drop my ass. So I'm like trying to think to myself, what's an entertaining way of saying party? Just for the street. So like, drop my ass. That's pretty funny. So I went to go drop my ass, right? In Scotland, they'll say drop your guts. That's true. That's what they say. All right, so I went in the back to drop my guts. And I did. I went back and I relieved myself, and it's just a natural thing to do. I felt happy. There it was, no longer bursting on hot gas. And I walk away. As soon as I walk away, everyone's fucking looking at me. And I'm like, oh, did I just get caught passing wind in the corner? No, it's because Vin Diesel's security guard is 30 feet behind me, and I very quickly ran out of the way and ducked behind some other people, but I looked to see what was going on, and the guard had his arms crossed, walking forward, right? But you could see his face kind of go, ah, damn. And Vin Diesel walked along, and he was exactly what I was expecting. He was a 6'2" big dude. You know, he fit into Scotland as well as you could. So he walks on, and he says the words, "God damn," which means officially, my asshole remnants has made its way into Vin Diesel's lungs. If there's ever a claim to fame, I have drop dusted Vin Diesel. So there you go. I came up to the storyline. Wow, that's what it's like to ask me a question when I've had cannabis. So if we ever meet up, please set aside time to listen to one answer.
Yo, that's funny as fuck.
Sorry I carried on. It happens when I get stoned.
Oh, you're good.
But I'm glad that it's accepted. See, that's funny to me, and I'm happy. I really am happy to have this kind of community, because a lot of people don't get me. But there's a lot of people that enjoy cannabis because they go through the same thing that I go through. And it was really nice to find some comfort and some home in your stream, in Craze's stream, Trey's stream, Rob's streams, Pigeon streams, Goblin streams. I could just do this all day.
Yeah.
Chris's stream, you know what I mean? So
I'm
yeah,
telling you, man, like this whole cannabis community is
it's really nice.
Like,
really nice.
People that you meet, everybody's most of the time, for the most part, they're pretty fucking friendly.
It's the love and happiness that I was just preaching about. Like if we control the entire world that we do, the cannabis community, it would still work. It would still work. And I'm not gonna get into it, but it really would work. And all the people that know what I'm talking about, like, I know what he's talking about, and he's right. So thank you for making sure they're on the same page. All right, so there's your story. I have one other story, and I'll leave out the colorful bits, but I'll get down to the dirty stuff. Is there anything you needed to know? Because I know I've carried on for so long. It's almost 6 o'clock, for crying out loud. I've done this for about an hour. And I know you'll edit it. It's good.
Yeah, I know you said you had another story for us.
I do. And you can ask me what is the craziest story, and I'll tell it. And then you can do whatever the cuts you want. So carry on.
All right, so yeah. So, what's some of the craziest things that you've experienced over your time?
Oh, I'm unbelievably happy you asked me that. I had my whole life changed in one moment. Whole life. And I hope this affects someone. And it's very positive. It's very positive. And I really, really, really hope this hits home with somebody and it changes your life. So here it comes. I'm a street performer that met the person that taught me in Fort Myers Beach, Florida, doing shows on a place that used to be there until Hurricane Ian come and took it all away. But it's still happening, which is great. And there was a guy there named Alex. He was a puppeteer. And in former Yugoslavia, a place named Skopje in Macedonia, third world country at the time. It's above Greece. So they're not Greece. They're Macedonians, right? A different culture, different people. Alexander the Great, in the Greek mythology, Alexander the Great, he was Macedonian. And they still fight over it. It kills me. I'm not going to get into that. So, Alexander the Great, who is a puppeteer, which is very common in Macedonia, in Skopje, to do for street work and to make money on the sidewalk. It's very common to put on some songs and make paper mache puppets and be good at it. Well, this guy had an hour-long show with like 5 different puppets. And he did such a good job, and he never spoke once. He never spoke for almost an hour during his whole show. He got all the puppets to do the work with soundtracks. It was an amazing show. He's a really good street performer. And when he talks a lot like this, and his lips go down. And it's not an impression of the guy who you think I'm doing. It's actually, it's not him. I don't have the cotton balls. It's Alexander, and he called himself Alexander because I'm great. That was his name, Alexander the Great. Why do you call yourself Alexander the Great? Because I'm great. I'm like, okay, man, that's cool. You're very good. You'll come to Skopje. We have a festival. You do my festival. It's good. You talk to Penne. Penne is my brother. He was one of the puppets. I go, how many were in your troupe? 4. Valentino, my sister, and Penne. And Penne, when they all broke up back in the 80s, Penne went off to Canada and made his way in Canada as a puppeteer. Valentine went to Faneuil Hall in Boston, and Alexander the Great made his way down with his sister in Florida in Key West, right? And he was in Key West for the longest time, and then New Orleans. And they worked there, and that's how I met him. He was on Fort Myers Beach because he was working with my teacher, Gazzo. There's a name drop for you, Gazzo. So he says, you come do my festival. Okay. Flash forward 10 years. I've made a friend named Figo. He's from Glasgow. And he's just a skinny young dude. He's a really good guy. And I said, look, I've said yes to this festival. Do you want to come with me? And he goes, absolutely. Because we worked with each other every day in Glasgow on Buchanan Street. So we get our tickets. And we don't have money. We do not have money. We don't have girlfriends. Oh, actually, we had girlfriends. I think we might have had a wife. 07. Yeah, might have been married or engaged to be married. So we went from Scotland to London. We had to wait till like 6 in the morning to leave from London to go to a place in Italy to have our entire lives shaken up, to go to Thessaloniki, Greece. And I skipped a whole bunch of stuff for the story because it's just color. But when we got to Thessaloniki, Greece, we got on a train. This train goes all the way to Skopje. In Skopje, there's someone there that's going to pick us up. We're good to go. All we have to have is a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. We're going to sit back, put our legs up, listen to our battery-operated speakers, and listen to whatever music we wanted to. The train came along. It was €5 to go like a long way. I was like, oh, wow, Europe. Wow. Because trains are still a thing in Europe. There's still a thing in Europe.
Really?
Trains. Yep. You can go all over. There is a pass you can buy that will let you travel the entire land of Europe. Euro Pass. And you can get anywhere on a train. Please go to Europe. Please go see where it all came from.
That's sick.
Because you're eating foods and enjoying culture that wasn't cultivated. It was repeated. Everything that's happened in the States, like everybody's Irish on St. Patty's Day. Everybody's Irish on St. Patty's Day. You know, Martin Luther King Day comes along, everybody makes a choice. But everybody's Irish, everybody's, you know, I'm Scottish. There's some the amount of times I've had the biggest redneck I've ever met in my life go, I got some Scottish blood in me. I'm like, no, you probably have Scottish blood on you, pal. Your parents are from Scotland? No, man, they say one day they stop there. I'm like, bro, you're from America. Just say you're American. You're from here. Your parents are from here. But if you check your lineage, that's right, lineage. All right, you have Scottish lineage. Yeah. You know how many times I've had this conversation with people? We've only had it once. This is a true conversation I'm not going to get into. So we get to the Thessaloniki. We get on the train. I'm going to make it quick. We get on the train. It's going to be kind of rough. So if you have a weak heart, the next 5 minutes is probably not for you. No one dies. No one dies. No one gets hurt. Ish. So, yeah, but it's kids. But I'll get into that in a minute. Which is what we started this whole conversation with. So you're gonna laugh when I say it too. So we get on the train, We make our way all the way to the border of the next country. I think it was Albany. I can't remember the name of the country, and I don't want to say the name of the country. I thought it was that country, but I could be wrong. And then, soon as we're like a mile in, people with AK-47s board the train and say the word passport, passport, passport.
Oh, shit.
And they found us, right? So we looked into our stuff, we held it up, and he says, come. So, and Figo looked at me, and I go, just leave it, Figo. It's not worth it. We'll figure something out. So we left all of our worldling belongings on the train. We had just opened a can of Coke, which is a commodity where we were. We got marched off the train, right? We got put on a bench, and one by one, they took our passports, and they brought us into a room, and they said, 20 euros. I said, what? He says, you this man? Yes, 20 euros. I was like, oh, these guys are fleecing us for money for our passports.
Yeah.
Because it's their country, their rules. Fuck yeah, man. Here's 20 euros. I mean, I'm not trying to say, I support this, but if I'm getting out of this without a bullet in me and I'm 20 euros lighter, I have the ability just to be entertaining for 10 minutes and make this right back. You can have this, brother. That's your money, son.
Yep.
And then he handed my passport back. I'm like, fuck, I won in this situation. But to have an AK-47 trained on you the entire time will make you sweat. If you thought you sweat playing a video game, when there's a piece of machinery that's built to take your life, trained on you, and just a small bit of pressure on someone's finger could change your world forever. Yep, it makes you shake a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So I leave. We get into a bus. They drive us away. We don't know where we're going. We can be now slaves. We can now be, in the traffic. Not gonna get into it.
Yeah.
So that's for a different video. You'll use that clip. That's for a different video. And we get drove over the border. You can see, the guy in the van drives up to the border, gives money to the other guy in the booth. The van goes through, pulls to the right, up pulls our train. We get back on the train, and we make our way to Macedonia.
With all your stuff?
All of our stuff has not been touched. No one has even touched the Coke. The Coke is still cold. And I'm like, wow. And we just picked up our Cokes, and we clinked them next to each other, and we sipped them. And we didn't say a word to each other for an hour. So by midnight, we get to the train station in Skopje. We come off, and all these little gypsy kids come up to our pockets. Now you understand why I use the word gypsy. Because there's camps. Gypsy camps. That's where they are. Macedonia. All through that area, right? Yugoslavia. And all these little kids come up. Yes, touching my pockets and stuff. And out of nowhere, this guy with a brick for a face is going, "Nyet. Nyet." And they're smacking the shit out of these kids.
Oh, shit.
I told you there was going to be a rough spot. That's it right there. This guy is just backhanding like a pimp. Boom. And he has to make contact with the kids or they don't stop. Like, this kid dodged his hand and kept going for my pocket. And I'm like, wow. I noticed it right away. I went, wow. And I put my hands over my pockets and I said, "Yet." I just repeated what the guy said. I was really hoping it was something nice, which was no in Macedonian, right? No. So he's trying to get rid of the kids. He says, "You're Todd Various and Figo." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's us." He goes, "I take you to Penny." He's now told me the contact's name, and he didn't even look at a piece of paper. I trust this guy.
Yeah,
I trust this guy. Let's get in his car. He fended off the people that are trying to rob me. He knows my name, and he knows who I'm trying to meet. I'm getting in this guy's car. So I get in this guy's car, and we're halfway, and here's what changed everything. Here's the tail end of the story. 3 minutes, and this is over. Yeah, right. I'll try. Halfway to the place we're going to, bumpity, 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 bumpity. And I'm like, "Dude, what the?" I said, "Dude, what the hell just happened back there? He goes, oh, road not finished. I go, yeah, I know. What the hell's the problem? He goes, we're still waiting for concrete. And I went, where the fuck am I?
Oh shit.
You know, it's midnight and we're going down roads that haven't yet been completed because they're still waiting for concrete. I'm like, wow. And Figo leans over to me. He goes, this really is a third world country. This is a third world country, dude. But I'm happy I'm here. I go, hey, we made it this far. Let's see where it ends. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Why not? We made it this far. So we get there, and here's my mind breaker. And I'll leave you on this because it's a great way to finish, right? We get to the place, and there's a dog foaming at the mouth. He goes, be careful, dog. You see a tag on here? I said, the dog has a tag on its ear. I said, yeah, the dog has rabies. Don't let him bite you. And I'm like, what the fuck? Gypsy kids, random dudes knowing my name and where the fuck I'm going. Dead dogs that can kill me at the foothill of the restaurant I'm going into. And as soon as I go inside, most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. Macedonian women, the high cheekbones, the slenderness, the curves, the politeness. Oh my God. And then the men, brick faces. They're all the ugliest men I've ever seen in my life. If you want to see an ugly person in a film, they go to Macedonia and they just pull someone on a truck and say, we're going to give you as much money as you're going to need for 3 generations. Get on the plane. Duh. And they get on the plane, right? So I show up and here's Penne. This guy is 6'6", both ways. He's just a big guy. And he goes, Todd, my motherfucker. And I went, I am your motherfucker. And he comes over and he gives me this big hug. I'm so glad you're here. Figo. Oh, my motherfucker. I said, I thought I was, he said, you're my motherfucker. Like, he was a really cool dude, right? He was super cool. And, but he couldn't find weed. And in Macedonia, we don't have this. We have hash. That's what he says. And that gets smuggled in like a motherfucker, but I'm not going to get into it. So that's what you can title this entire theme, but I'm not going to get into it. Oh, the irony alone for the name of this, for the name of the YouTube, but I'm not going to get into it. Oh, so here it is. Here's the moment. I want to have a sip of my coffee real quick. Todd Various in any Google search will give you everything you need to know.
I hear that.
There, I got to that question. I got to that question before you even asked it, because I've done this before. So we come in. He says, "What can I get you?" I said, "Man, with the last 36 hours that we just went through, can I get a latte?" So I sipped my coffee, and he goes, "Of course." Figo. He goes, "I'll have the same." So these guys, middle school ministers, 5 left, right? And he reaches up. Do you like olives? Oh, fresh off the vine, are you kidding me? And I'm starting to see the beauty that hasn't yet been exposed by the daylight, right?
Oh, nice.
I've gone through some crazy shit to be here. But now this guy just welcomed me with open arms, and no one really was mean to me on the way. They were just doing what they do in Europe. It is the way it is. It changes slowly, but it does change. Like people being held at gunpoint, that still happens. But it's really, really rare. And you normally don't get death because they want money. And a dead person doesn't pay you. So remember that. Don't let travel be put off because of that story.
Oh shit, hell yeah.
Here's the end. Here's the end. Oh, I love this. Try to think of the worst thing that you've ever had a problem with. And if you now have in your mind, I get my latte. And on the latte dish, in a flute, my latte shows up. Thank you. She was amazing. And she was. And there was a piece of paper. So I put the latte down, had a sip, put the latte down. And I opened up the piece of paper, and on it was a scroll, and it had a Macedonian phrase, and then the translation. Right? Here it comes. And it said, Ima Iboja. What the fuck's that mean? I didn't even read the next sentence down below. I would have killed the entire story if I did. Ima Iboja. Ima Iboja. What the fuck is... Am I saying this right? Penne. Duh. What's Ima? Yeah, I'm super American at the time because it was like 2 years into my career. What's Ima Iboja? He says, very Ima Iboja, very famous saying here in Macedonia. Everyone here knows we are a third world country. But we all believe that somewhere else, someone has it worse than we do. So we are proud of what we have. And we will make life in this. Every single thing I've ever complained about was crushed when he said that. Because there wasn't a single problem I've ever had that he's ever had to face. Because he's had it worse than me his entire life. And that's why he went to Canada. Made his fortune, came back. He now owns 3 bars in a very metropolis place. He has an amazing family, and he keeps street theater alive. Because that was the 2nd year he ever started that festival. But my mind was expanded. My mind was expanded when Ima Ipoja, which means there is worse. But I'm not going to get into that.
Hell yeah.
There you go. That's my crazy story for you. Those are both my crazy stories.
That's for sure.
There you go.
You've seen some crazy shit in your time. I think we're gonna have to
Bro,
make this we're gonna have to bring Todd back on for a.
I got part two in me.
About you guys.
I got part 2 in me. I could do a Bahrain story and a Dubai story without causing any problems in any way.
Now see,
Australia. Australia. I can do 1 story for Australia. How I got deported.
I don't want to go to Australia. The size of the fucking spiders that they
No, you
got
do.
over there.
No, you do. You do, because they're only in certain places. Don't go to the place where the spiders live, and you won't get bit. Don't go in the water where there's sharks. You won't get bit. Don't start a boxing match with a kangaroo, because you will lose.
In fucking Australians are built different,
around.
bro. I watched this video.
Oh my God.
Dude, the kangaroo was fucking going after his dog.
Yup.
And he fucking walks
punched
up
him right in the face. He had to size up because that's what the other roo would do. That's what the other roo does. That's the thing. We don't see this. Kangaroos have boxing matches all the time. Like monkeys do what monkeys do to claim their peace. Boxing is what kangaroos do to claim their peace, to get their woman. They box all the fucking time. But they do it when we're having dinner. Right when the sun's going down and the mist and the dew starts happening, the kangaroos come up. Because then it's cool enough to be as agile as they are. And they go out and they eat and they defend their territory. And it's at night after dinner that you'll sit on the porch and you'll watch the roos fight. Yeah, look at him. And they'll make bets. They'll make bets on kangaroos. Oh, look, that's 2 of them. Chilling right there. That one's going down. I got 20. That one's going down. Yeah, he's drunk. You know, they'll get into it. Oh, it happens all the time in Australia. Oh, yeah, I've got stories.
That's
holy shit.
Crazy. See, look.
Yeah, you can have a part 2. You can definitely have a part 2.
This might end up turning into like a part 3 or 4. Shoot.
Can we do this once a month for a year? Can we do it once a month for a year? Fuck, shit. If I could ever, we'll keep calling it, but I won't get into that. Oh, what a throwaway. What a great throwaway.
That'd be awesome.
All right, do you need anything else?
No, that's it, guys. We ran this episode.
Oh fuck!
A little bit longer than usual, but that's cool because we got into some really dope stories.
Sorry, I rattled, man.
No, you're good. Sorry. You're good. Hey, good conversation is what keeps the show going.
It's how I'm built. It's how I'm built.
Right? Yeah. So I mean, Todd, I would love to have you on for another episode.
Yeah, cool.
Gonna have
I could do this till my head falls off.
Hell yeah.
And it should happen. It should happen. Because if it goes to the grave with me, well, then what was the point? So let's tell that story.
Very true.
Let's tell that story.
Hell yeah. But as y'all know, it is time for me to get up out of here. I got some stuff that I got to handle in plants, garden, and whatnot. We got a harvest coming up. I appreciate y'all for joining us this morning. This, again, has been Todd Various. I want to thank you for coming on the show this morning and sharing some of these stories with us. We are going to do a part 2, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for joining us. We're gonna drop this show on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube when it comes out next Friday, that means you missed a live episode that happened the previous Friday.
You missed some stuff. You missed some stuff.
And you're gonna have to join us, man. Twitch.tv/itsb, you dig? Link will be down there. We do these every Friday. But hell yeah, Todd, it's been a pleasure having you on here. Everybody else, I appreciate y'all for joining us. But it is time for us to get up out of here. Now look, I'll tell y'all every time, right? Y'all got these things that you put away in your desk, in your pockets, you know, you threw it in the closet or something, right? Go get it, throw it on your face, put that smile on and go wear it out in the world, man.
Oh, I'm like, what?
I get everybody with that one.
I'm like, where's my weed at? That's
one last thing, man. One last thing. All y'all out there, don't take no shit. All right? Appreciate y'all, man. But until next time, be out.
Got swag in the zag, can't go wrong in a bone. It's official in a swisher, but it ain't that good if it ain't a backwood. The blood on me, the blood on me, the blood on me, the blood on me.
No sticks, no skis, only blow good weed. You don't like it, kiss my ass until your lips bleed. I'm from the city where the bees get peed by the G's, mother F-U-C-K-or-C-O-P. I put some Dodie in the back with it, lighted it up. And I ain't even talking English cause I'm burnt up. And the cooks all gone, they got burnt up. We active, my Vallejo niggas turned up. At the light with your wife, left seat, she neck pipe. Then I skirt off, back to the pad, rip skirt off. But only to roll up and press lift off. She say she can't roll the wood. Oh man, my dick's off, it snap, nigga.
Got swag in the zag, can't go wrong in a bone. It's official in a swisher, but it ain't that good if it ain't a backwood. The blood on me, the blood on me, the blood on me, the blood on me.
Dummy lit, never catch Joey with a bummy bitch. Shit was kinda dark, I got it sunny quick. Lil quick and late trip with a honey dip. Nigga, once it gets slow, you gotta turn and flip. Shit ain't working, I revoke they membership. Nigga puffin' on some wood, yeah, we in this bitch. Money for breakfast, no egg benedict. Man, we been this shit. NBA jams on fire. Bitch on my nerves, man, I had to woo-side. Me and a nigga feet is high. Me and Neff too wide. Blowing on some fire that I got from you, Kai.
Got swag in the zag, can't go wrong in a bone. It's official in a swisher, but it ain't that good if it ain't a backwood.
The blood on me, the blood on me, the blood on me.
It's cousin,
The blood on me.
look, arms folded, foot tapping impatiently. I got one more head than the tree is on me. Yeah, backwoods full of GDP in the V, where we be on the whole neck like a BDB. Take a bitch whole check, blow it on weed. No type of respect. What the fuck you mean? All I smoke is perp, nigga, I don't smoke green. My car must have a smoke machine up in the backseat. Whip got fog in it. Fix the blunt, catch a run, boy, you dogging it. Matter of fact, pass that shit. You don't pass it though. Nigga, ask that shit. Matter of fact, just give it here, man. You doing too much. Blood on me, bruh.